We use data science in many different ways. Today, I'm going to show you the 5 simple ways to use data science to pick cities. Once again, this is critical with a recession coming up, but it works at any point of time. I'm also going to show you how we use it professionally. So you'll get a view at, okay, what does a professional company use and how is it different from what I'm going to teach you, right? So I call these 5 different methods real focuses. And my first real focus is population growth. When you are going to go into a recession, we believe that's going to be a recession later this year or early next year, you want to be in a city that has very strong population growth because population growth is an awesome way to protect against recessions. So we want you to be investing in a pre-recession time in a city that has a minimum population growth of 10.6%. Now, unlike the other numbers in this presentation, if you've seen it before, this number actually hasn't moved much. So in the last 2 or 3 years. Why? Because US population growth is slowing drastically. 10.6 is a truly awesome number over this time frame. I'll explain this time frame and why it's 2011 and 2020, not 2011, 2022. But this is an awesome number in a country where last year our total population growth was 0.2%. It's the lowest it's been ever in the history of this country. So it's super important. The US is slowing radically. Population growth is your best line of defense. Now, here's the numbers, and I'll explain how you're going to find these numbers for any city in the US in just 30 seconds, right? So first, let's read the line. If a city is between 250,000 people and a million people, then you want that city to have at least 10.6% population growth. The higher, the better between those 2 years. See, look at the screen. It says 2011 and 2020. You might say, but we're in 2022. Yes, but the publicly available data today that you can get to in 5 minutes is between 2011 and 2020. And cities usually don't start abruptly losing population or slowing down. Their population trends tend to be over decades. So the fact that I don't have data for 2021 and no one has data for 2022 because we're still in the middle of the year, the fact that I don't have 1 year's data is not going to change anything for you. You're going to end up with the same list of cities as if I had, even if I had 2021 data. So don't worry about the fact that this data is a couple years old. Now, if the city is pretty large, let's say Phoenix or Philadelphia or San Antonio, San Diego, Los Angeles, big cities, well, they never grow as fast. So then that number, that 10.6 number, it actually drops. It drops down to about 7%. And that's still okay. If you want to invest in bigger cities, obviously they have benefits. They're job centers. But what if you want to take a little higher risk? And you want to invest in micro cities like Durham, North Carolina, or St. George, Utah. Well, in that case, you want to go into cities that have ridiculously high population growth. Why? Well, you're taking a risk, right? You're going into a smaller city. Shouldn't you get rewarded for that risk? Well, you get rewarded for that risk by picking a city with higher population growth. Now you've got some insurance because the city has such ridiculous growth that you can get insane increases in rents and insane increases in home prices. Now, before I show you where to get this data, I have a caveat, a disclaimer. And here it is on the screen. This number only applies to the rest of 2022, all of 2023. Do not use this in 2024. We used to provide a way for you to continue using the system in future years. We found that it didn't work. The big reason is 2020 has been the most crazy year in human history. 2021 has been the most crazy year in real estate. So we're seeing one crazy year after another. So what we've decided is, look, at the beginning of the year, just come to our website, multifamilyu.com, grab the new numbers, take it with you. Remember, this is not a subscription. We're not selling anything. You just come, take a year, take the updated number. So you can only really use this number until the end of 2023. At the beginning of 2024, we'll give you a different number. All right, so now before I go to the next one, I want to show you where to get population growth information for any city in the US. It's really simple. You simply type in population and the name of the city. In my case, I like using Columbus, Ohio for my my demos. It's not my favorite city, it's just a city that I like, right? Population Columbus, Ohio, but you could type in population Phoenix, Arizona, or population Reno, Nevada. It works. You click here, you hit enter, and you see this nice graph from Google. So currently, it looks like in 2020, the population of Columbus, Ohio was 889 and 79 people. Now, to figure out if this number, 879, is going to give you this growth. Remember, you want this groups. What happened here? All right, here. Remember, you want this 10.6% number, or you want a number higher than that? Well, how do you know how to get to how much growth there is? You see this upward curve, so that's good. But is it 10.6? Well, at the end of this webinar, you will receive an Excel spreadsheet. Here it is. You see the Excel spreadsheet? Yes? Anna, are we seeing the Excel spreadsheet?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. So this Excel spreadsheet, you type in the number
it might
for
be better if you make it bigger, but
okay.
That's fine. I see you're using your landscape. Yeah.
Yep, there we go. How about
Thank
that?
you.
There we go. So in the Excel spreadsheet, this is Real Focus 1, population growth. You're going to plug in for whatever city you pick, right? I've picked Columbus, but you can pick whatever you want. You're going to plug in the population 2020. So you see that 889079. Just type it in here. 889079. And then move the mouse. So you're going to move the mouse backwards until you get to 2011. And right there on the top, it says Columbus, Ohio, 779573. You see that? On the top right, 779573. So I'm going to type in 779573 and hit enter. And now you notice that this cell turned green because the population growth in Columbus was 14, which is higher than 10.6, right? We want to hit 10.6, but higher is better. So Columbus, Ohio, for just this one metric, has done really, really well. So that's all there is to it. All you have to do is come here, plug in the 2020 number, which will always be on the screen, then move the mouse to the left, plug in the 2011 number, and green is good. If the cell turns green, that's really good. You're doing well on that particular real focus. Simple? All right, let's move on to real focus number 2.